pace, and he just carried on setting it, and there has been no stopping him. A couple of non-stage wins, but other than that, they were the super specials anyway. We weren't sure he was going to get those, so just a really spectacular performance. Molly said it to him at his stage end interview as he was stepping down from the roof of that car. It's been a while since his win. He's been waiting since his last win. He's been waiting for that to come back, a bit of form to come back.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a park campaign last year, wasn't it? So, you know, Chile last year was his last victory, and it hasn't been the best start to the year. But boy, has he bounced back with a vengeance. I think park campaign last year, there's a bit of rust build-up. Yep. He was off doing other stuff and having a ball doing that, and now we have seen the Kalerov and Pera that we know existed this weekend, and as I said, to do that against the likes of Sebastian Ogier and Elvin Evans, when they've both got similar machinery underneath them, is pretty impressive, isn't it? I mean, what he's done is dominate, and it's been beautiful to watch and beautiful to commentate.
You were going to say that it really has been, hasn't it? You've really enjoyed every minute of just watching him putting those cars through the corner, just enjoying all of it. All right, I think we're going to get you the pictures of the podium that's just happened. But if it's a nice, play it twice. So we're going to listen to the interviews now at the podium. We'll hand over to that.
Starts. Well, Kalle, 15 stages, Wolf stage, Super Sunday. You have everything. How are you? Congratulations.
Yeah, of course, it has been quite an amazing weekend. Really strong pace all the time. The whole team has been doing a good job, but especially for us, just been enjoying the driving a lot. And yeah, to get so many stage wins on a fast rally like this, it's pretty nice, and full points, which is the most important thing.
Has it been a special punch, the atmosphere, the rally fans?
Yeah, I was surprised that the support is so big. We are here first time as a WRC event, and yeah, we have a lot of fans, and the atmosphere was great. So big thanks to all the fans who were cheering on us.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Sebastian Ogier. Sebastian, over here. You've tried it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hasn't been. I don't know if the terms have changed. Have you come to have a nice time here in the Canary Islands in the second place?
Honestly, for my first time here on the island, I really enjoyed. Amazing atmosphere the whole weekend, so thank you very much. Muchas gracias. It's really always a pleasure to race in Spain. On the mainland or on island, it's actually the same. But I would like to congratulate one more time Kalle and Yone. They've been really amazing this weekend, untouchable, so a big applause for them again.
Big applause for them. Seb, if we tomorrow see your friends, what will you tell him about the resume of this rally? What are the characteristics of this rally Islas Canarias?
Basically one word, Toyota. Or maybe one more, Kalle and Yone. But yeah, no, it's been amazing. We had good preparation for this rally. The feeling was good, but you never know when you are going to race if the pace is enough. And yeah, surprisingly, there was quite a big difference this weekend with our concurrents. And yeah, we have to be happy with that, celebrate it. But next rally is coming soon, so yeah, 2 weeks to go, and then we are already in Portugal.
Hope to see you next year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Elvin Evans, well, hard weekends. We tried it. Toyota's on the top 3, top 95. How's it been? Good afternoon. Congratulations.
Yeah, an amazing weekend for the team. They prepared very, very well. So thank you to all the engineers and the mechanics that helped us prepare this rally so well. Gave us an amazing car to drive. And yeah, obviously I have to second what Seb said, and a big well done to Kalle and Yoni on their performance. It was amazing. Of course, on our side, it's hard to be happy when you're up against that level of dominance, but you know, at the same time, we have to be happy to take the points, and we'll move on to the next one.
You've always been talking about the team. They've done a great work before coming into Gran Canaria.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a new event for everyone. It's quite different to what we've seen in the past. So maybe thinking a little bit outside the box was needed to get prepared, and I think they did that well.
Hope to see you next year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, a bit of acknowledgement for the teammates there, just how dominant Kalle Rovanperä was, but it's all right, Elvin, you've still got a buffer between yourself and that man. But it was what Kalle needed to do. This was the place. If he was going to be able to break free, get himself up, get himself into the battle. He said to Julian Porter in Monte Carlo that he was asked to introduce himself. And he said, I'm two-time world champion, soon to be three-time world champion. He means business now, Jenny.
Yeah, I mean, I think he always means business. I think you're right as well in that he certainly couldn't afford to drop behind Elvin any more than he had done. Elvin came here with a dominant championship lead. He extends that, but Kalle has got his championship campaign underway. He's jumped from 6th to 2nd in the championship in one sitting, and most importantly has taken maximum championship points. Elvin as well has extended his lead in the championship as a result of Hyundai struggling and Thierry Neuville in particular struggling so much. Look, we talk about how dominant Kalle Rovanperä has been. I also want to talk about the man who's been sat beside him. I'm
glad you said that, yeah.
Has been superb, and he's such a top guy. You know, Jonne is a great character. He's got his feet firmly on the ground, and he has worked very, very hard to fine-tune the notes on a very difficult rally. Remember, it's a new rally for everybody, so when you're going out and doing the recce, you're making fresh notes, and then he's gone back to the room, as most of the co-drivers have done, and then completely rewritten them.
Yep.
And so this is very much a team effort between Kalle, Jonne, and of course Toyota giving him the tool they needed to do the job.
Yeah, and I mean, you were talking to, well, we were talking, but we were talking to Lewis Moyes the other day, and it is true, this is a real co-driver rally, isn't it? Perhaps we haven't talked about it as much because there's been other things to talk about, but particularly impressive. And also he's not been full fit as well, so really put in a good stint this weekend.
Yeah, I caught up with him for a bit of dinner before the rally started, and he's got a jaw. They actually originally think his jaw was slightly broken, or dislocated, but it's not. He's got some sort of infection. He's been dealing with that the entire time, and he's done a superb job. And like you said, rallies like this, particularly fast tarmac rallies where it's corner to corner to corner to corner to corner, you have to have a top flight co-driver who is not only delivering the amount of notes that you need, but doing it at exactly the same time. And you'll see when we were in commentary yesterday, I said, look at Louis Luca's head. And throughout, I don't know, a good kilometre and a half, he's just got his head down. He's feeling where he is. And the co-drivers are incredible. But, yeah, special for Jonne Heltonen as well.
OK. All right, well, we now this season have been bringing you the sort of team radios as well. So let's listen in to the conversation between back at base and with the drivers.
Well, that's how you do it. Gentlemen, congratulations. Winning Rally Canary Island with maximum points. Well done, well done.
Thank you, guys. Quite amazing weekend. And yeah, super cool to be back here fighting. And yeah, this one is for him, and really amazing result for the whole team. Good job. Thank you also from my side. Couldn't expect anything more. Amazing team, amazing car, and this one was for him. And let's be happy.
And it is the all-important team behind those two that really have made the difference.
So important, those interactions, Kiri. You know, that was real as well, and it motivates. It's particularly when you hear from the drivers, it really motivates the rest of the team when they hear Jonne and Kalle saying thank you to them. Let's keep going, let's keep pushing. But it has been an incredible team effort, and it's also nice for us to be able to hear what the drivers are saying. It's important as well, I think, for the fans to be able to get that behind the scenes access.
Very cool, isn't it?
You know, and so yeah, I'd like to. Long may that continue. That's great.
OK, well, we have, of course, got all of the other podiums for you, and we'll be bringing you those throughout the next half an hour or so. So let's just give you the full results once again. So it's Kalle Rovanperä finishing up 53.5 faster than Sebastian Ogier. It is that Toyota lockout there. Elvin Evans in third, and then Taka in fourth. The first of the Hyundais is Adrian Formeau. And then, of course, you saw Johan Russell as well in 8th overall, but winning WRC2, giving him a bit of a boost in that campaign. You were saying it, Jenny, it's time for Oliver Solberg to bring the fight back. We'll just have a look at those driver championship points so you can just see what's being collected over the weekend. So Kalle Rovanperä with 35, that's the full maximum points, and then Elvin Evans with 25, and then Sebastian Ogier with 25. I can't read. And then Elfyn Evans with 21. Then Taka with 14. Adrian Formeau with 13. Oyt Tanak, a disappointing 8 for him. He'll want more out of that for sure. Thierry Neuville with just 1 power stage point, 7th. And then Johan Rassel and Nicolai Grierson, to name but a few, that have picked up some of the overall points there. But importantly, it is Kalle Rovanperä that makes the jump. So what does that mean for the overall Drivers' Championship as we head into round 5? So it's Elfyn Evans with 109 points. It is Kalle Rovanperä now in second. He has jumped all the way up to that second place, 66 points. Thierry dropping down 59 points. He's going to need to make much of the next few rounds. Sebastian Ogier still holding strong on that part season also with 58 points. Oyt Tanak 57, Adrian Formeau 44, Taka 39 there. Sami Pajari, a disappointing weekend for him with 19. Then it's Greg Munster, and we see Martin Sesks on that board as well. Where are our manufacturers? Well, let's take a look. Toyota now with 208. Hyundai with 157, and M Sport Ford there with 58. The second of the Toyota Gazoo Racing teams with 25, but it is Toyota leading the charge, and that is a comfortable buffer for now. But as I mentioned, it's round 5 that we head into. There is a big old long season to come.
Yeah, for sure, and a lot of difficult rallies to come as well, Kiri. And Elfyn Evans now with a 43-point buffer at the top of the championship.
Did you just do the maths? Is that what you were doing with your fingers?
Yeah, I was trying to tell you it's 43 points. But yeah, you know, with a 43-point buffer at the top of the table, and that's going to help him. But it also means it's very likely, well, it means he will be opening the championship at least twice on a gravel rally. He'll be opening the road at least twice on a gravel rally. That's difficult in itself. The advantage he's got is that it's a bit of a buffer back to Kalle Rovanperä, who's second on the road, and that's, again, Kalle's going to be hit with the clean gravel, the clean, no fresh line. It's going to be difficult for him. So I think it's an opportunity now, looking at those championship standings, for Hyundai to get themselves back into the game on the gravel.
Either way, it's going to be an exciting season ahead. Well, Sebastian Ogier joined us here in the Canaries. Like you said, a bit of rust. He was in Monte Carlo, but not too much. He showed everyone that he's still very much got it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's Sebastian Ogier. He's an 8-times world champion. The man is incredible, isn't he? And yeah, I think this weekend, said it many times already. I'll say it again. He's been superb, hasn't he? He hasn't been able to match the pace of Kalle Rovanperä, but he always brings valuable data, valuable feedback to the team, and most importantly, has scored solid manufacturer championship points for Toyota. He is a safe pair of hands, the safest pair of hands you get, in fact, in the WRC at the moment, and I include that up against Kalle Rovanperä. You know, the consistency's always there, the experience is there, and he knows what he's got to do to rally a team around him as well in hard times. Sebastian Ogier remains top of his game, doesn't he? Just couldn't quite match the pace of Kalle Rovanperä. Nonetheless, very, very impressive here.
Well, he certainly admitted it a few times, even then, just with his sort of podium interview that he was doing there, really giving props to Kalle Rovanperä. Impossible not to, but really, really nice that he has just acknowledged how very good his teammate was.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, there's not much more to add other than Kalle Rovanperä outpaced Sebastian Ogier, didn't he? And Seb can't ignore that. And he's done it as a gracious 8-times world champion, saying, I couldn't match him. He was better than me this weekend. He was faster, and props to him for it. And I think it shows the sportsman that Sebastian Ogier is.
Well, Elfyn Evans pretty much doing the same thing in terms of the acknowledgement for Kalle Rovanperä, but a good run for Elfyn. You talked about this very early on, that he didn't need to go and do anything major here. He needed to collect points. He didn't need to risk anything. This is a championship charge that he is leading at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very easy for me to say that from a commentary box, or sat beside you, or beside you in the studio. You know, for Elfyn, he came into the weekend, he just kept the same rhythm he's had throughout the entirety of the season, and that's been a winning formula, hasn't it? It's been a formula that's put him at the top of the championship table, and I think if he had changed anything coming into this weekend, it would have been counterproductive for him, but instead he's just come in, he's settled into his own rhythm, and he's been rewarded with a 3rd place on the podium, some more 21 championship points, and extending his lead. You know, we always say, and Thierry Neuville proved this last year, that consistency is what's required in the World Rally Championship, and that's exactly what Elfyn Evans has had so far this year and this weekend.
Well, it's going to be exciting to see what he could do. I was speaking to Kai, and he was saying, yeah, and Calais is so impressive on gravel. They've got a good inter-team battle. They've got a lot to manage in that team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't envy Kai Lindstrom or Juha Kankinen or Jari Matti Latvala at all. There's a lot of personalities that they have to manage. It's going to be interesting to see how they get on. You've got a bunch of drivers there who all want to win a world championship.
Yeah, okay. Well, we have an award. It's a Forum 8 award for most stage wins in WRC2, and it's being given out right now.
And here he comes in his Citroën from PH Sport. Ladies and gentlemen, Johan Russell and Anna Donant.
Congratulations! Onto the podium, Johan. Onto the podium.
On the first step.
Onto the podium. The rest of the podium.
The Forum 8 trophies will be presented to Johan and Arnold by Chicago Taki, the Vice President at Forum 8 Co. Limited.
Yeah, an absolutely great weekend for Johan. We know how good he is on tarmac, and he's just showed it once again.
Yeah, it's been spectacular from Johan Russell, and you have to say he was definitely odds-on favourite to take the victory here in the WRC2 category. And I think he's done the Forum 8 award as well for the most stage wins in the WRC2 category. So it's been a double whammy for him. There you go, there's confirmation of that. Most stage wins award. Yeah, look, most importantly, Johan has now given himself a buffer in the championship going into Portugal. But Portugal is going to be very, very exciting from a WRC2 perspective. I believe we've got 48 entries, and that's pretty special, isn't it? Let's hear from Johan.
Over here, that's it. That's it. Well, after this good thing, congratulations. It's been incredible, hasn't it?
For sure, it's an incredible feeling to win here. Thanks to all my team, my co-driver, my gravel crew also, my family here, and a lot of French fans, Spanish fans, all the nation. Incredible atmosphere here in Canarias. Thank you so much.
What does it mean to win Forum 8's trophy, being leading the most stages? That's great.
Yeah, for sure, it proves the speed this weekend. The car worked very well. It seems easy to drive when it's like that. For sure, I hope to do the same weekend this year, but we need to reset in gravel rally. Yeah, the plan is to do the same. Congratulations. Thank you.
Well, like you said, Portugal's going to be an incredible battle for Johan with that many entries. It is always a very exciting category, but for the moment we focus on the man that has some very impressive skills on tarmac.
Yep, French tarmac specialist, Johan Russell, and again, like I said, coming into the weekend, you'd have put your money on him, wouldn't you? Yeah. Unfortunately, Leo Russell not able to join him on the podium this time like he did in Monte Carlo, but as I said, when he goes to Portugal, he certainly won't have it all his own way. The likes of Oliver Solberg scoring points, Jan Solens, who won it last year, Gus Greensmith's back as well, and there's confirmation of Johan's victory.
All right, well, yep, as Chenny was saying, Johan Russell out in front there. Then it's Cachon in second, Grezen in third. Good to see Efren Lorena giving it a good push in fourth. And as Bex Williams was saying, that he's running his own team in ERC, so lots of responsibility. Emil Lindholm down in sixth, so that's how the WRC2 shapes up as we leave Rally Islas Canarias. Okay, here's the podium.
In second
WRC2
place,
there, all the fans still sticking it out.
That's not a bad problem to have, is it, when you don't know where third place is on the podium, is it? Nikolai Gryzin used to sticking it on first or second. No, it's over there. Oh, right, that one, okay. Great drive as well from Alejandro Cachon, the local star, leading Spanish driver as well here. Kiri he's had a fantastic weekend. He's nabbed a couple of stage victories as well, and yeah, he's done a superb job, but ultimately it's been all about that man, Johan Rossell, this weekend in WRC2. He has been kept honest, and he's dealt with the pressure very, very well.
Well, we've seen the battle many times between Nikolai and Johan, and I'm sure that's going to rage on. Central Europe last year was very definitely another battle reflective of those two's abilities. So it's going to be an exciting season, and like you said, the likes of Oliver Solberg, Gus Greensmith all jump in that party.
Yeah, for sure, and particularly on gravel, when you've got so many championship contenders, so many title contenders, you have to go flat out. You cannot afford to back off. So Portugal is going to be an absolute sprint from start to finish in WRC2.
And an amazing event with so many challenges as well. It is definitely one to watch. That's about 3 weeks away from now. We'll give you a preview of that in a little bit, but for now we watch the WRC2 podium here at Rally Islas Canarias.
Beautiful trophies. Thank you very much, Carlos. Gracias. And the second place presented to Alejandro Cachon and Borja Rozada by the Honourable Angel Saboroso Rabanera, the Deputy Minister of Physical, or no, it's not. We have Alejandro Marcelo
Yeah, for sure.
Ramos,
we all know how good he is. He's Spanish champion, and we've seen the pace in the past from him. So we were expecting him to be right up there, and he's delivered. But for sure, you know, you heard the roar from the crowd there. It'll mean a lot to him, and it means a lot to the fans as well. Just picked to the post by Johan Rossell, but to be honest with you, that's not a... if you're going to get beaten on tarmac by one man, and it's Johan Rossell, then you don't take that too personally, because he's properly good.
And the trophy for the winning team we're going to give to the first place from PH Sport, represented by Marco Aurelio Perez Sanchez, the mayor of San Bartolomeu de Tirajana.
For the first position, teams in WRC2. PH Sport.
We've got one...
Primero. Para primer clasificado.
Anyway, we've got one more trophy to give out. The trophy for the FIA WRC Challenger, presented to one of your favorite, Alejandro Cachon, by His Excellency Antonio Morales Mendez, the President of the Gran Canaria Island Council.
Mejor equipo, hay que entregar ese trofeo al mejor equipo del WRC 2. Quédate por ahí, no te vayas muy lejos. Nelly, perdona Borja, ya está todo controlado. El sol afecta la cabeza. Este es para el equipo campeón, Teams winner, there goes PH.
Okay, now the best part of every podium. Carefully place your trophies on the floor, carefully pick those champagne bottles, and get celebrating!
Es tiempo de celebración WRC 2.
Well, there we go. Celebrations in full force down at Mas Palomas. Johan Russell is the leader of the Drivers' Championship as well. Now 50 points ahead there. Jenny. Oliver Solberg with 35 points. Gus Greensmith now in third with 25 points. Oliver's 10 points ahead of Gus Greensmith.
Johan Russell is now 15 points clear of Oliver Solberg, who's on 35 points. Gus Greensmith, third on 25. Fabrizio Zaldivar, 2 ahead on 23.
Oh, yeah.
Alejandro Cachon, what a weekend for him on 17. There you go.
There you go. Well, there's the number difference, but you can see the
Somebody
points
get
on
us
your
some
screen.
glasses. We need to get you some glasses.
I told you, 20/20 vision.
Not convinced by.
All right, well, that's how the WRC2 is shaping up in this round as we move on to Portugal. Now we've got some interviews coming in as well, so let's listen. It's Cachon at the podium.
Over here, congratulations, great rally. You've started WRC the best way.
Yeah, it was not an easy rally for us. Johan was quite fast, but really happy. It's good points to start the season, so let's continue like this. Muy contento, la verdad que ha sido un rally difícil. Johan ha sido muy rápido, pero sumamos unos buenos puntos de cara al campeonato. Un inicio de temporada así es un sueño, así que vamos a seguir.
We've been talking about Canarian rally fans. You know them. It's been incredible this weekend.
Yeah, Canary fans are incredible. The atmosphere that we have this weekend here, I never see, so thank you for all of them. Dar las gracias a toda la afición canaria, ha sido una semana increíble. Gracias por el apoyo y nunca había visto esto nunca antes. Gracias.
Thank you very much, Alejandro. Mr. Grayson over here. Well, you've tried it. You've had 2 or 3 issues, but it's been a great weekend. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It was a big pleasure to drive in Canarias this weekend, and especially the roads and fans. The fans have a really big passion, so it makes us even more enjoyable to drive. And the roads are really nice. And unfortunately, when we drive, we need to focus on the road and not on the scenery, itself. It's really beautiful roads just to drive, even without the pace notes, just to look around. It's really nice.
Are there any place in the world, stages like this, would you look for somewhere else, like in Rally Islas Canarias?
I think the Canarias is unique for this kind of stuff.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Venga, un aplauso muy fuerte, claro que sí. Big applause for this podium.
Thank you, the WRC.
Big applause indeed. Now, just the incredible sights and sounds of Rally Islas Canarias. That was the WRC2 podium wrapped up there. We pretty much said everything on that. An amazing weekend for Johan Russell. We knew that, like you said, tarmac specialist. But Portugal's the place where the party might get a little bit broken up for him and Nicolai Greisen, with some of the others coming in. And you mentioned such a huge entry list already. I said, is it closed? You said it's probably full, actually.
Yeah, no, I'm sure if there's any... Well, Portugal's always a full entry at the end of the day, isn't it? Because it's a rally that everybody wants to do. So much history, heritage, it's brilliant. And it's, it's the first traditional gravel rally of the year. You know, Kenya's not really traditional, is it? It's so unique in its own way, whereas Portugal is traditional gravel rally. Look, I think Johan Russell's going to be the first WRC2 car into the stages. It's just slightly different. He was not going to have clean lines because the wheelbase and the track of the rally, one car's ahead of him, are different. So he might be able to put one side of the car in the line, but the other side will be cutting a fresh line for WRC2. So for sure, Johan Russell is going to be at a disadvantage. The cars coming behind will be absolutely on it. And like I said, they are going to have to go flat out, Kiri. It's going to be a sprint from start to finish in WRC2. 48 of them. Brilliant.
It's going to be amazing. All right, well, just to give you an insight into what it looks like at Rally Portugal, take a look at this. There is something very magical about Rally Portugal, just that jump Faf being up there in the morning. I think, were you with me last year? We were definitely out and about the year before anyway, and when the mist's rising over there, it really is. There's something very, very special about that place.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, so much history, so much heritage. Traditionally dominated by Toyota, hasn't it, Kiri? But, you know, this year you've got Elfyn Evans and Kalle Rovanperä opening the road. Hyundai have made enormous strides forward with the performance of the car on gravel. That's where they struggled last year. They've worked really hard to bring the car on gravel. So we're going to see the first glimpses of that performance, I think, in Portugal. And now the pressure's now on them to have a strong result when we get to the gravel. So, look, I think it's going to be a brilliant rally. I'm really looking forward to it. And as always, every single year we see thrills, spills, and plenty of action.
Yeah, I think I was going to ask you what your memories are, but one that just sticks in my head is Elvin's big off a couple of years ago. That, you know, there's so much that goes on. There's so many highs and lows.
Yeah, and of course, and it comes with the nature of that event because of the way the stages are, and ultimately the gaps. Like I said, when the competition is this stiff, it's turning the rallying into a bit of a sprint. I don't think it's going to be a rally where you go out at the start and you get a clear winner. You just can't second guess that one. And trust me, Hyundai will come back strong.
What's your best memory of Portugal? What is your mainstay memory?
Mine personally, going through Faf with Carlos Sainz when we were doing a Red Bull feature, that was pretty cool in an R5 car at the time. That was unbelievable. And Luis Moya joined us for that feature as well. It was incredible. And then Carlos joined us for the remainder of the weekend, and that was pretty special for me. My rallying heroes were Carlos Sainz and Colin McRae. I think from an action point of view, one that will always stick with me is when Gus went off and had a big off. That was pretty unfortunate for him because he'd had a good weekend up until that point. But yeah, so many memories. All
right, well, while we're talking incidents, there weren't a huge amount this weekend, but they certainly we had a calm couple of days and then they just started coming. So first off, we'll have a look at Greg Munster's moments that changed the game for him. But it was already a struggle this weekend. Very disappointed, like we were talking about earlier. He's not even going to allow himself a moment by the pool.
Yeah, I mean, look, they were trying different things, and it was just coming down into this right-hander up here. He just went into it way too hot, and just slid the car off the road. He was lucky not to collect that tree with the front left, because that would have been a very, very different story. But I haven't spoken to Louis about it, so I don't want to put it on him. But it looked like a late note, didn't it? I don't think it was. I don't think it was a miss. I just think they just got it plain wrong. Because look at that, he was just going way too quick into there. Was never going to make it. And as soon as the car stopped as well, I've heard the onboard of this. It's actually quite funny. As soon as the car stopped, Gregoire goes, "No problem," and then they just get going again, and they get the fans to come out. A bit of an adventure. Ultimately, it didn't really make a difference to the result of the rally for him, did it? What I would say is if the fans weren't there, he wouldn't have been going anywhere because the car was beached. And it's, again, one of the beautiful, brilliant, unique things about rallying is that the fans suddenly become your heroes. And, brilliant to see. It was one of the not many off-road moments we had this weekend.
Yeah, but it was one of those. Also, Sami Pajari then came with his moment. That was probably a little bit more, game-changing because he didn't actually then finish his rally and he was in a better position. Also, he hasn't had the opportunity to collect points. I know he's not massively looking at the championship, but any points are good points, aren't they? Yeah,
I think there's good positives that Sami can take from the weekend. Up until that point, Kiri, it was going very, very well for him, wasn't it? He was right there. In fact, he was ahead of Takamoto Katsuta. Taka's been in the seat of that Rally 1 car a lot longer than Sami has, so it was really important that Sami was ahead of him. That was his job, and it was just an inter-team battle between the two of them. Yeah, he just overcooked it onto this into this left-hander. You can see he turns in. The back of the car just steps away. He keeps his foot in and picks up a whole load of understeer on the way out of the corner, and that did an awful lot of damage to the front right of the car, so much so that the team said there's absolutely no point in sending that back out today, and he retired from the rally ultimately. A big shame for Sami, but lots of positives up until that point.
Yeah, OK, we're going to head back to the podiums now. It is the Masters at Podium that's underway, so we'll just head back down to Mas Palomas just to have a look at that podium for you.
Enhorabuena, chico. Congratulations.
And for the trophies for the FIA Masters Cup, we've got the beautiful girls of Spain. What did you say they were called?
Azafatas.
Azafatas.
Bueno, pues ya tenemos, we're ready with the champagne. Antonio, enhorabuena. Felicidades. Muy orgulloso, sí señor. Ready?
Different kind of celebration.
It's a good celebration. Antonio's over here. This way, yep. Antonio, ya tienes trofeo. You got your master. Over here, Antonio, please, quickly.
All right, there we go. Well, that is the podium's pretty much completed there. Good to see the Masters just getting a bit of a moment, a time to shine. Every single podium counts, doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah, of course. And again, it's the beauty of the WRC. It doesn't matter what age you are. You can come and you can take part in your own championship. I think if those guys, and I don't mean any disrespect to them at all, we're all getting older, aren't we? It's a privilege to do so. But at the end of the day, you don't want to be competing against the likes of Johan Rossell because you're never going to beat them. So having your own category to compete in, I think, is really important. And the other thing that I would say, Kiri, is it just goes to show how drivable the WRC2 cars are now.
Okay.
From a young age, you can get in them, I mean, and jump in them and be there or thereabouts. But still, as you're getting older, you know, we've seen in Monte Carlo gentlemen in their late 70s, even early 80s, jumping in these cars and still being able to drive them. And that's so good that there's a product on the market that allows anyone to go rallying.
I kind of feel that I might see you with a silver-haired Fox driving.
Haven't got the money, mate. Haven't got the money.
You might do. OK, now we did have a few more moments. Josh McElwain this morning, one of those moments. We'll just have a look at that because we are running out of time. So we'll just recap everything that's happened for the weekend. That includes Josh McElwain.
Yeah, really frustrating for Josh. It's been a frustrating weekend for him in general, hasn't it? And yeah, just coming down. He'd already had a moment just before this. He'd lost the back of the car, but look, he turns in. He's just going a bit too quick, nips the handbrake there, realises it's too quick, tries to rotate the front of the car to point it to where he wants to go, runs out of road and puts the rear left straight into the Armco barrier. That sucks the front left in as well. And then he turned it around and got it out, or reversed it off the road and got it out of the way. But pretty unfortunate for Josh. I think it was kind of the perfect storm from there. You can see him just recovering the car off the road and getting it out of the way. But there was too much rear left suspension damage for him to continue. And unfortunately for Josh McElwain, couldn't go any further. There was a few things going on there. He was too quick into it. I think he'd been caught out on his braking. On the right-hand side, you could see that it was also like a concrete on the apex of the corner. So the front right and rear right were on the concrete. The rear left was and front left was on tarmac. So you've got a differentiation in grip levels. And also it was slightly negative camber, which unloaded that front left wheel. So he couldn't lean on it quite as much. And as a result, he just got caught out. A real shame for Josh after a difficult weekend.
Massive disappointment, right? It is time for us to say goodbye to Rally Islas. Canarias has provided us some of the greatest drives from Kalle Rovanperä that we've seen in a while. Some huge disappointment from Hyundai. It's been a good one.
I'm fed up of saying how well Kalle Rovanperä have done and Toyota have done and how bad Hyundai have done. What I would say is massive thanks to the fans. Yes. They've been the real winners this weekend. It has been incredible to be here and be a part of that.
Absolutely. Loved our first new edition for the 2025 season. Thank you for coming along for the ride. It's been another good one. We'll see you in Portugal in just a matter of weeks now. Thanks for your company from myself, Mike Chen, and Kiri Bloor. It is goodbye for now.